depressed and rejected, the alien wolf refused to eat for months until the human mechanic fed it. The wolf lay in the corner of the maintenance bay, motionless except for the slow rise and fall of its ragged chest. Its fur, once a radiant black streak with starlight silver, had dulled to a lifeless gray. The glowing data tags embedded into its shoulders flickered weakly, malfunctioning, neglected. Everyone called it a failure. A prototype from the Zelkar Bioweapons Division, designed for combat, surveillance, and planetary infiltration. The perfect predator. But something had gone wrong in its neural programming. The wolf refused commands. It didn't growl, didn't bite, didn't obey. After the last mission, it had collapsed into silence and stopped eating. They locked it away in Sub-Bay 4. Out of sight, out of budget, left to fade. But humans have a bad habit of poking around places they are not supposed to. That's how Kieran found it. Kieran, a young human mechanic, barely 23, with messy hair, oil-streaked arms, and a habit of wandering. He was sent down to Sub-Bay 4 to find an old coolant unit. He found something else entirely. A pair of glowing amber eyes, sunken and exhausted, watching him from behind a force field. Kieran froze. Whoa! The wolf didn't move. He took a cautious step closer. You're not just some old drone, are you? Still, no response. But those eyes, they weren't lifeless. Just tired. He glanced at the abandoned feeding unit in the corner. It was dusty, untouched. The food within it had dried and mold. Have they not fed you? Kieran frowned and crouched, careful not to alarm it. Do you even want to eat? The wolf turned its head slowly, as if hearing something far away. That night, Kieran returned, not with a scanner orders, but with a small metal bowl of hot broth. He sat by the field. This stuff helped me when I got pneumonia on Titan. Not much, but it's warm. The wolf didn't stay, but its nose twitched. Kieran smiled. I'm not military, just a wrench turner. No commands, no shouting, just me. He stayed for hours. The next night, he came again. This time, the broth was thicker, smelled like bone stock and protein gel. He placed the bowl by the barrier. The wolf shifted. Then, slowly, achingly, it rose. Thin legs trembled beneath it, but it took 2 steps forward. Kieran held his breath. The wolf sniffed, then touched the edge of the barrier with its snout. Computer, deactivate field, Kieran whispered. The shield shimmered and faded. The wolf didn't leap or growl. It approached the bowl, stared at it for a moment, and began to eat. Delicately, slowly, as if testing the idea of food again. Kieran watched in awe. You're starving. They let you rot here. The wolf finished the bowl and looked up. Then, unexpectedly, it Saturday and tilted its head. Like a dog, like someone waiting for something else. Want more? He laughed softly. All right, I'll bring more. And he did. For days, then weeks. The wolf grew stronger. Its fur regained its sheen. Its eyes, once dull, now held intelligence and wariness. It never barked, never made a sound, but it watched Kieran constantly. It listened. Kieran read old reports in secret. The wolf's designation was Model V-17, nicknamed Vel. It was designed for psychic recon but had bonded unexpectedly with its first handler, who died during testing. The loss disrupted its neural balance. So they labeled it defective. They never gave it another chance. Kieran, sitting cross-legged one night, whispered, They say you rejected orders, that you went quiet. But I think you just didn't want to kill for them anymore. Vel lifted its head. You're not broken, he added. You were grieving. The wolf's gaze met his, and for a long moment, neither moved. Then something brushed Kieran's mind. Not a word, not a voice, a feeling, warmth, gratitude. Vel had reached out. From that day forward, they were inseparable. Vel followed him to repair bays, sat beside him when he worked, and even growled lowly when officers came too close. But only Kieran could touch him, feed him, or hear that quiet psychic whisper that passed for speech. You saved me. The officers noticed. The head of security came to see Kieran one morning. That wolf is classified property, she said coldly. You're not authorized to override its housing protocols. Kieran stood protectively in front of Vel, his alive. You let him starve for months. He's a weapon. No, Kieran replied, fists clenched. He's a person. He was just treated like a thing. They threatened to reassign Kieran, strip Vel for parts. But then the accident happened. A reactor leak in Sector D panic. Workers trapped inside. Before anyone else could react, Kieran and Vel were already running toward the fire. Vel leapt through the smoke, shielding 2 unconscious engineers with his body. He carried them out, burning fur and all. Kieran dragged another from under collapsed steel. They collapsed together outside the doors, coughing, but alive. After that, no one questioned them again. Months later, Kieran now wore a custom vest with Vel's insignia stitched into sleeve. Vel padded silently at his side, healthy and majestic once more. They worked as a team, engineer and guardian. And sometimes, when the corridors were quiet, Vel would lean against him, and Kieran would whisper, "I'm glad you didn't give up." Vel's answer was a soft brush of thought. "You gave me reason not to."